You're in the Whip with Flex.
And Quell.
And today, we got a lot to talk about. From billionaires dodging prison to trauma encoding our DNA. This one hits hard. Before we get started, how you feeling today, Quell?
I'm good, man.
You good?
4th of July just passed.
Yeah.
We're all going to see this after the fact, a week later. But 4th of July just passed. I had a good time, good cookout, good food, good vibes, good people.
Yeah.
How was yours?
It was good, man. I got to rest, relax. I think that was the main thing. I needed this little break just to, sit back and just chill,
I got you.
Recover.
Yeah, definitely.
You feel what I'm saying? And if y'all didn't know, it's going to be later, but it's going to be this guy's birthday coming up on the 8th, right? Tuesday?
Yeah,
on the 2th. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So everybody, make sure you drop down on happy birthday.
Pushing 30. He already 30, so yeah. Not yet. He's close. So
nah, man, but we just wanted to say happy birthday to you because they're not gonna see this then. I want everybody in the comments, make sure you guys say happy birthday, Quell. We just want to say thank you for everything you've done for the show, the podcast, just all your help, all the love, all the comedy, and the knowledge that you've brought into to this platform, man. We just really want to say
thank you and Phil and everybody for bringing me on. I mean, I've enjoyed it so much so far.
Hell
yeah. Great time.
Yeah, and you made a big difference, bro. We feel it. We love the energy. Like I said, the knowledge, the comedy and the knowledge are the two things that I love. And I know that the fans love too. They love the knowledge that you have. You're able to just think of something and then just spit out some information that is. I'm like, what the? And it's interesting because I don't know many people that can go into depth about the topics that you have the knowledge on,
Mm-hmm.
So it's really amazing to see and hear, especially
firsthand.
firsthand.
I know a little something, man.
Yeah, I like that.
I know a little something.
Hey, man, I like that. I want people to get knowledge, man.
Before they take our books away, you gotta know something.
For real, man. They really are, man. But yeah, we just want to show our appreciation to you, man.
Whip of the week?
Whip of the week. Go ahead, start with it, man.
Back in my truck, the Grand Cherokee, once again. Nice truck, man. I don't have much to say about it. I'm kind of chilling today. You know, I'm not animated yet till we get to this next topic. I'm gonna get animated, but
yeah, we're gonna get real animated
today. I'm just loving my car again today, man.
Yeah,
it's real spacious, real nice. Mm-hmm. Y'all can't tell because y'all only see the end product, but when we set up our show in here, there's so much space. It's so much. It's everything's just in here. You can't see none of the wires and the behind the scenes.
A lot of space.
It's all good to go.
Yeah, man.
It's like a real set up in here. Like it's perfect.
Yeah, I'm gonna say my thing. I love this whip. I say it every time. I love this whip. The black interior that you have on yours, I love it. It just feels like luxury. I don't know, bro. I love a luxury feeling car. It does feel like luxury. And what year was it again? Just
2021.
It's damn near luxury. That's just brand new, damn near.
That's just brand new to me, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So. I love. How long you had it for?
About 2 years now.
2 years now?
Yeah. This will be my second summer with it, so yeah, 2 years.
And so I know you said off camera you thinking about switching to black. You have the white one now. I love the white.
My next car gonna be black for sure. The white is cool, but once you start accumulating that dirt and bird droppings and all that, it's like, oh my gosh.
You just gotta stay on top of it because when it's clean, bro.
I'm lazy, so that's all that matters, guys. I'm lazy.
I feel you, bro. Hey man, I respect the black car. I used to be that's all I used to want was black, and then now I'm like,
oh okay.
Why you playing it, bro?
What? All you want is black. I used to. I see that's changed.
Now all I want is white. Now all I want is white.
All right.
And I'm sticking to it. Every car you gonna see, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, car, yeah. I got you.
See, why you playing, bro?
I'm just asking a question.
Bro? Why you playing, bro?
Hey, man. I'm in the driver's seat today, man.
Yeah, I know you driving this truck today. You driving it today, man.
Hosting.
Hey, man. Like I said, I love this car, man. I love the white, but you said you were thinking about doing black. I'm not going to get mad at it because I can understand it. It looks real good, especially when they do a black car, right? That all black, that don't be looking nice, but I'm sticking with the white. Anyway, love this car, man. It feels great, looks great. Anybody who's looking for a nice, you call this a truck, SUV?
SUV, yeah.
If you're looking for a nice SUV with style, luxury, at a decent price, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to spend a little something on it, but like, you got a little money, you're spend. This is nice, man. Yeah, man. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into our topics coming up. Hey, we got to talk about Diddy. We've
been ducking him for a while. The whole trial was 10 weeks. Recently, the verdict came out. That was what, the 4th? No, the 2nd of July?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been ducking him the whole 10 weeks. We ain't talk about him too much.
Because we were going to talk about him what, a month ago, 2 months ago?
Yeah, but it didn't feel like the right time.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of rehashing of just like freaky stories.
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk about that.
We have some actual stuff to talk about
Yeah.
today, so I feel like this was a good time, after the verdict and all that other stuff. So we'll get into it a little bit more. But.
Just to preface it, he's not free at the moment, but he did get off on 3 out of the 5 charges he is found not guilty of. So it's a little confusing. People were kind of confused reading it. He had 5 charges in total. One of them was racketeering, but then he had the next 4 were all doubled up. It was trafficking, traveling for prostitution, So it was like 2 of each. So he beat basically like 1 of each of those, and then he beat the RICO. So that was the main thing. Everybody's saying you're gonna face life. That would have been the RICO. It was life, almost guaranteed. Because once you get that handed down to you, you're dealing with like football player numbers. You know what I mean? So.
And I have something to say once we get into it some more about the the doubling up. I have a question for you. So that remind me when we get to there.
Gotcha.
Next, we got a video of a 20-year-old opens up about school and challenges the entire vote and weight narrative. So that's a good one. I can't wait to get to that one. Next, a viral hair debate reignites questions about respect, identity, and culture. And just for you guys to know, it's the Pop the Balloon. Is that the Pop the Balloon one?
Yeah.
That was the Pop the Balloon one. The CIA did a big one with that one. They did a big one with that one.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it, man.
I know, man. And lastly, a brutal history lesson raises the question: is black pain hereditary? And I have a lot to say about that one, man.
I as well.
And cliffhanger for you guys: the stories might sound separate, but together they sketch a deep truth about justice, survival, and legacy.
Wow.
You ready?
You wrote that?
What do you think?
What is boy? Hey y'all, that's that rapper pen right there. That's that
ready?
MC pen right there.
You ready to get into it?
Absolutely.
All right, man. Diddy avoids the RICO charge, man. The headlines say guilty, but what about the charges that didn't stick? So, you want to lead it off with this one?
I want to start with a question for
Go
you.
ahead.
Are you surprised?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Why? No, why are you not surprised? Is it because of his influence or his resources, or just the case itself seemed weak to you?
So I have a couple reasons why I didn't think to stick. Some people call me a conspiracy theorist, but I don't think it's conspiracy. If something keeps happening, coincidences. I don't believe in coincidences anymore. If you keep seeing coincidences, it's not a coincidence.
Yeah, I agree.
So he was about that. I think it all has to do with the alcohol deal that he had, and it was there to tarnish his image.
Break that down to me. Alcohol deal.
So I think he was. I don't remember the exact alcohol deal. I don't know if it had something to do with Ciroc or it was a new deal that he was working with some new partners and stuff like that. But basically, he was going into some type of new deal with these people, and he made the wrong people mad. And basically, they wanted to get him out of the deal because they didn't want to do the workings for it.
But
Go ahead.
But we still had a civil case before this with Cassie, who finally came to light and kind of brought like the hammer on him. A whole bunch of stuff, videos and like stories and witnesses and everything from how he treated her for all those years.
I think it was.
Those were related in some way.
I think that was more of the perfect opportunity to do what they needed to do to get him out of that deal. Because what they really wanted to do, I think it had nothing to do with actually taking him down. I know that's sad to say, but like not taking him down, but like, if someone did something illegal, they should, face the whatever for it. But I think it has more to do with they wanted to tarnish his image, which I think they definitely did during this whole entire process.
How strong is Diddy's image before this, though, you think? I feel like people always looked at him as kind of weird and, freaky.
I mean, they did, but it
was, funny.
It was funny. It was like, oh, yeah, Diddy, haha.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because, 50 was saying it years ago. A bunch of people, everybody was saying it, but we all just like, oh, it's Diddy, like, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
There's a crazy video of, I remember seeing it when I was a kid, but Method Man was, joking about Kanye West. They're friends.
Yeah,
so it was in jest. But he was saying, I seen him at one Diddy parties in the back room doing something to another man. But it was, laughing because everybody was like, oh, yeah, that's what happens at Diddy parties. He does freaky stuff.
So I thought he was giving an example of how you could change the narrative just by saying something. Somebody would clip something. I was just asking. I thought that's what the whole clip.
I just remember from seeing it, in real time. But I just think about how, for years, people have been,
talking about
Diddy, he's zesty and all that type of stuff. And yeah, man. And then, of course, the Bieber thing and everything. It's But I guess when the time comes for the narrative to change, the narrative's going to change. And now it's looked at it's not funny no more. Now it's you're sinister.
Yeah.
So, but then you look at the details of it, it's you might be kind of sinister, but But the alcohol deal, was he due for a lot of money or something like that? Was he leaving one company and going to somewhere else or starting his own thing?
I don't remember the actual, all the
Because
details
Ciroc, he doesn't own Ciroc. Never owned it, right?
No.
He was like like the face of it, and he had a big stock in it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if it was actually Ciroc or if it was a new deal or what it was.
You ever drink effing vodka? 50-cent vodka?
I didn't even know he had a vodka, bro. What's it called?
Effing. EFFEN. It's like competing with Ciroc at the time. I hate Ciroc, by the way. Ciroc is disgusting.
Really? I used to be a big Ciroc guy. I'm not.
Them flavors are fake. You're just drinking.
It's
whatever,
nasty now.
Whatever it is, it's like grape vodka or something like that. That's all you're tasting. Whatever fruit they put in that bottle is not there.
Yeah. No, I feel
it's like a dash of apple, whatever.
I don't know why I used to like that stuff, man.
Number one headache creator. Worst hangovers of my life is Ciroc. So I can imagine going to these parties and then getting up after that, all that Ciroc, and you getting up and you have, and you got your back beat in too on top of that. It's crazy.
So one of my questions was, you brought up the fact earlier when we were doing the coming up next about he had double up of different charges. Can you explain that? That just seems weird why they're doubling up on multiple
So it was different
charges.
instances of it.
Okay.
At different times. I'm not sure the actual dates or whatever like that, but there were different times that he was trafficking and he was traveling to engage in paying for it.
Yeah.
I got to use our words wisely, guys. YouTube is not a fan of this type of stuff. They do not
like...
So it was 2 charges of traveling to engage in prostitution, which is a big deal because hiring an escort or someone is one thing, but then to put them on a plane or a boat and go somewhere else, or put them in a van or something, go somewhere else, is a much different thing. That's a whole, you cross the state lines now. Now you're doing like an enterprise of it.
Yeah.
And then of course the same thing with the trafficking. There was different instances of it where he was taking people on the plane, on the yachts, or on whatever, and doing what he was doing to give them to other people to do these things with them and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just different instances of it. So it sounds like they're double jeopardy or whatever, but
yeah, that's what it sounded like.
It's different instances of it. Double jeopardy is if he beats this case and he bring it back to him again. Another case, they can't do that.
Obviously. Yeah.
Which they wouldn't have to. I think this is the type of situation that reminds me of the OJ case, right? Where he beats the first one, the unalive in charge, but then he goes back for some simple theft and they give him like a decade for it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we got to get you back on something. You got out of here scot-free somehow. So my question was just like, his sentencing is coming up soon. I don't know what he's going to get. They're saying the max is like 20 years. From what I can see and what we know about people that have this money and these resources and this influence, I think he probably intimidated some jurors too, to be honest.
You think so?
I think even if he didn't do it like directly, I think the stories of like he blew up the car and he beat this person up, beat her up, and did this and that, and people kind of looked at him like, I don't want to be the one to put him in jail because he's crazy, you know. So I don't know. I don't think he get 20 years. I think he might get like half of that, and he might only do half of that, and then time served and all these other things that come up, and appeal this and appeal that. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of avenues where I don't see him probably sitting in jail no longer than like 3 years. Yeah. The way this stuff goes.
So can you explain time served? Because I know I just found out what that means. Can you explain it to the people out there who don't know?
Basically, it's like they account for like the time you spent in between getting arrested in your trial and everything like that, and they'll basically put that on top of your charge and be like, well, he's already been in jail for this long, so we'll knock off on the back end. Let's say he was on wait for trial for 2 years. Yeah. They'll say, you served 2 years, we'll knock off the back end of your 10. It'll be 8 now. Yeah. And then they'll do whatever else they do, dice it up like that. Basically.
Exactly. So, yeah, I just found out about that. And that makes a difference. Well, you got to think about it, right? Like you say, he's probably, it's the max is 20. Don't forget he's a first-time offender. This is his first time doing anything like that. And then he also already spent a little bit of time in there. So and they're probably going to give him some type of, like, what is it called? I don't know, house arrest. You know, he's not going to have to do the whole time, do a probation or something like that. I
don't see how, in what way he does any real time for this. Because when it comes to guys like this, who have this much, like I said, power, you need to be dead to rights doing something horrible. And a lot of this stuff, this case is like, unfortunately, there's a lot of nuance to it. And unfortunately, a lot of people see it as like, he was just having a good time. He was just doing what he wanted to do. Like, how can you put him in jail for doing what he wanted to do? Sure, it was weird, but what is he doing illegal exactly? You know what I mean? And that's the part that kind of makes it hard to really like see how he gets sentenced. Cause I don't know.
I think from what I've heard, is that I guess whoever's team, whatever they painted as, Cassie was not forced to do these things.
His defense was that, and also like his defense was literally like, "Hey, this is just domestic violence, guys. Just him and Cassie having a bit of a roughing up here and there. That's other stuff you guys talk about. They're just parties, but
yeah.
Only thing you can get them on is him and Cassie having a little bit of a rocky relationship. It got physical sometimes, which is insane because if you listen to the witnesses that came and the escorts and stuff like that, say what you want to say about escorts, maybe they're not reliable witnesses to you, but they have no reason to lie here. They've already been paid, whatever else. Like, they said he would do things like he would intimidate people in front of them. He would harm people like Cassie in front of them physically, and then go back to what he was doing, stuff like that. He would keep Cassie and keep her from going places and kidnap her, literally. Kidnapping is not just pulling up in a white van and grabbing somebody off the street and pulling in the back. It's, you're staying here with me, you can't go nowhere.
Yeah.
Don't get out this car, don't do nothing. You're going with me where I'm going at, and you don't get a choice. I'm going to beat you while we're going there. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So, it's just, I feel like the prosecution was like, I mean, the RICO itself, to me, was a little flimsy because, like we said, some of this stuff is, like, really blurry in terms of, like, how illegal it is.
Yeah.
Like, the drug parts, yeah. But, like, that wasn't in this case too much. But the RICO thing was a little flimsy, but I think the prosecution was so focused on, like, what's the craziest story we can tell the jury to make them think he's evil? It's like, yeah, okay, but it just sounds like sensationalism over, like, substance. Like, this is what he did to people, and this is how people suffered for it. Like, the R. Kelly case was like, he did this and this and this to these people. They were minors at the time. They suffered this way, and it was like, oh, put them in jail, please. You know what I'm saying?
But the juxtapose that to the Diddy case. You're saying, no, I'm saying how you're saying that R. Kelly's case came with this. Diddy's was more.
It was more like, whose opinion can we sway more?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like the Kelly's thing was like, he's a monster. And I think Diddy isn't in his own way, but it was a lot more like opinion and how do you view these things?
Yeah.
For most people, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
To me.
So my question is that, I guess if this is we're going back a little bit. We know that Diddy has been doing this thing for years, and now they're trying to, they took it here, and I don't know if it failed, their plan. I don't know what it was. How do you feel about this whole thing? Just sum it all up.
Oh no, I do think, as we talked about, he outlived his usefulness to somebody. Not outlived, but he's been past useful to someone.
Yeah.
Because this stuff has been going on for years, like literally decades.
I was about to say decades now.
And it's been known. There are people just as powerful as him that were there that are aware of this stuff. There are people who could have done something about it that were there. But I think a combination of him being so powerful in the industry, him being so wealthy, and also him being so willing to intimidate and willing to do drastic things. Because let's not forget, people, like, most people think he killed Biggie and Tupac, right? So if I'm a guy like the producer who sued him with all of the video evidence and stuff like that, what's his name? Lil Rel or something like that?
I'm not sure.
Something like that. He's the one that had his case had the little Meek Mill thing in there. Everybody's like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a guy like that, who my career is hinging on, if he say I can't go nowhere and do nothing, or he might just kill me. Because, like, if he killed the two hottest rappers in the game, he don't care nothing for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's I think that's a lot of the reason why he's able to do it for so long is that he knows the right people. He can bend the right people to his will. He probably got blackmail on some people, and also he's dangerous. But I think that there's always a bigger fish, and that bigger fish was like, I don't need you no more.
So my question is that if he has all this influence and he's able to, not just him, I'm just saying anybody in that type of situation with a lot of influence, and they're able to sway the system, then who is the system really protecting?
Rich people, obviously. Always been there.
It's just like, we
We just saw this with the new bill that passed, the big beautiful bill. That's all for rich people.
Yeah, it's all for rich
biggest
people.
wealth transfer in history, apparently.
Is it?
That's
Over, what's it called? Back when Reagan and stuff like that? Bigger than that?
Yeah. At least a lot quicker, all at once, basically. Tax breaks for rich people, more tax for poor. stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you know anything about the big beautiful bill?
I know a decent amount. We don't got to get into it too much because it's not really our topic today.
We can talk about it a little bit.
But yeah, so a lot of people kind of were bought into it or sold to it based on the whole idea of this quote unquote no tax or tip on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. But at the same time, there's so many like nuances to that and fine print to that if you're like a 65-year-old person who works for tips and works overtime, you get a tax break. It's like ways around it that's like not fitting to the average person who does that.
Yeah.
And on top of that, because there's such drastic cuts to food stamps and SNAP and Medicaid and all these other things that help people every day, the person working overtime with all the money they got from their overtime with no taxes, they won't be able to afford their medical bills anyway. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter how much more money you make. Mm-hmm. It's really unfortunate, dude. A lot of people are going to die because of this bill, unfortunately.
Die.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people think like Medicaid is like you sit around on your ass and you just get given Medicare and stuff like that. And it's not how it works. Yeah. It doesn't often cover most of anything you need. Mm-hmm. It might cover a good amount. Yeah. Like your medications and something like that. But if you get like a brain tumor or something like that, you're cooked. I mean, you can't work, obviously. So you need Medicaid, and then you're sitting around having to rely on this insurance to come in and help you out, but it doesn't cover everything. It won't cover every surgery. It won't cover every medication you might need. You might need just to put down a copay or something like that. You still might need a family member to help you out and pay for it. So it's a difficult thing. And then they're also tricked into thinking that a bunch of undocumented people use it as well, which they don't. You have to be a citizen to qualify for any government aid at all. Mm-hmm. Remember what I'm saying, y'all, because some of y'all really believe that there's people who are not citizens collecting government aid. You have to be a citizen, Social Security number, all that stuff, to get any sort of aid from the government. So because of that lie, they're able to come slip under your feet and take all that shit away. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely spooky, man.
I think the language that they use to be able to trick people into thinking that stuff, like you said, they got people thinking that these illegal immigrants or whoever non-U.S. citizens are getting this aid when the whole time
they're not able to.
They're not able to, and the people that are affecting are actual U.S. citizens, people like you, me, like people like them probably. A lot of them don't know that they're about to be affected.
The majority of the people who vote on the right live in rural communities that are already poor to have one hospital for every 35 miles. Mm-hmm. A lot of these hospitals will now be closing because they no longer have the funding to stay open. Yeah. And as a result, a lot of these people will suffer for stuff that they voted for, but they were told would affect other people, not like them. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of it's just like they use their hate speech, their hate mongering stuff to sway people's minds to find an enemy that's among them and mm-hmm. not the people above them. Mm-hmm. It makes us look at the man next to us as the enemy. That's not the enemy. The enemy is the man above you, the man that's taking your money. Because for the fact that these undocumented people, they don't get aid, whatever, but they still pay taxes like sales tax, income tax, stuff like that. So they're paying into the system that they can't even benefit from, mm-hmm. and now everybody's gonna suffer that, and nobody won't be able to benefit from it. But it's like simple stuff like the language, like you said, like Medicaid is the national name for it. Mm-hmm. But any state you go into, Medicaid has a different name. Mm. It has a different name for what it is. So a lot of people will now be losing their insurance thinking that they were taking away just quote-unquote Medicaid.
I'm sorry to laugh, but it's just so funny when that type of stuff happens. The people vote for it. Take Medicaid away from those people. And they go, what happened to my insurance? They're going to be like...
Medicaid, it's just called Star Point or something because you live somewhere else. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate that they're voting against their own interests, but that happens a lot in politics today, especially on the conservative side. People mm-hmm. vote against interests actively. Mm-hmm.
It's because people vote emotionally and not actually, I don't want to use the word intelligently, but they don't do their research to figure out what they're actually voting for.
They literally take people at their word, like politicians at their word. Mm-hmm. Believing a politician is basically like believing a stripper likes you. They're basically in the same boat.
I'm not going to lie, that's a pretty good...
They're in the same boat.
That's a pretty good comparison.
These people have no... Mm-hmm. Have you seen any of the clips of people going to sign that bill and the lady had the pajamas on, they were laughing about it, people were telling her hey, one lady, I forgot what state she represented, but they're hey, people are going to die, this you pass this stuff and lose Medicaid, people are going to die. She was well, everybody died sometime, and then she said that in front of everybody. And I bet you she'll get voted back in.
She said that?
Yes. I can't find her name. Aiden, if you can find that clip, please put it in.
When you are arguing about illegals that are receiving Medicaid benefits, 1.4 million, 1.4, they are not eligible, so they will be coming off. So people are not, well, we all are going to die. So for heaven's sakes, folks, okay, no.
I can't think of her name right now, but she's sitting at a committee. You know how people can go in their community and speak to their officials. And they were like, people are going to die. She was like, well, everybody dies sometime. And that was her response to it. And
That's
it's like,
evil.
These people don't care for you. They're
don't
evil
care.
people.
They really don't care.
Because guess what? If I'm a senator and I need health care right now, surgery tomorrow, it's going to happen. I have that leeway. You don't. But people...
I think I said this earlier. Right wing, left wing, it's all part of the same bird. They really don't care, man.
Yeah, in a sense. The problem is that the Democrats will pass bills. The Democrats, to me, their problem today, the left, is that they're very much like not willing to use the same tactics that the right wing does.
What do you mean?
They won't go as low as they do, which is unfortunate to say, because you shouldn't go low. Nobody should go low, but the right will do whatever it takes to get their stuff passed.
Yeah.
They'll burn anybody to get where they need to go.
Yeah.
And it's like, you gotta kind of do that to benefit people as a whole. And it's unfortunate that we have a country where that's the option: is left or right, suffer or don't suffer. I don't know. You ever see the memes that's like Trump is passing the "I'm gonna kill you" bill? Like,
no, I have not seen it.
So this is basically "nigga, I'm gonna kill you" type of bill, or this is the "I hate poor people" bill, basically. They're doing tax write-offs for like private jet flights, stuff like that. Like in there, it's bananas.
It's
the only
insane.
positive thing that came out of this. The original draft of the bill had a clause in there that said you could not regulate AI for 10 years. However, once they went back and they negotiated and they chopped it all up, they took that out. So now AI will be regulated immediately.
Thank you.
The only good thing that came out of it.
Thank you. Because that was getting scary.
But you know the crazy part is, though, about all this stuff?
What?
So let's say in 2028, right, when Trump leaves office, you're going to have a Democrat come in, probably. Because every time there's a crazy person, it overcorrects. You're going to then have people blame that person, the Democrat, for the problems with this bill. Like the downsides and the people that are going to die and get hurt. Like they cut so much crap. Like they cut FEMA. They cut like the National Weather Service. You see the floods in Texas now. They're blaming you told us it'd be a couple inches of rain, not a flood. And they were like, we would have known if we had the money to use our equipment properly. They're going to blame people for that, not the powers that be that voted that stuff in. So it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate. I don't know. It's just that it's crazy to me. So one of my questions is that I want to talk about how you said you have a crazy president or crazy presidency, and then they go back to someone else and they blame them for it.
Yeah,
we've seen this pattern.
Yeah.
You don't think it's designed? That's the question.
No, I think people are just stupid.
You think so?
I think people are just stupid, bro. I really think people are just stupid. I think every American votes for their own personal interests only.
Unfortunately, but yes.
So, if a person does a bad job, which Donald Trump is, his approval ratings are really low. They're under 50%. By the time he leaves, the country will say, well, he wasn't good. We'll vote for the other side now. See how they do. And then so on and so forth. So on and so forth. So on and so forth. And this is a never-ending thing. Like Obama was president. He was too far left for most people.
But I think the thing with Trump is he's trying not to leave the office. He wants to stay in there forever. Yeah,
I'm worried about that because in Miami, the mayor's vote was just canceled, and the mayor's going to stay in office.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I did hear something about that, but I didn't.
They were just like, maybe next time y'all vote for real. But this time we're going to stay in office. So that
can do that?
That to me is a test of like,
that's what I'm saying.
Pushing the boundary of like, can the president do it? He's already broken a bunch of rules and stuff. So, we'll see. He's also like 80 something almost, right? So he'll probably be dead by then. We'll see.
You think he's gonna? Nah.
But he might be cooked by then, like mentally, because Joe Biden looked bad on the way out. So he might. So he pushing it.
I feel like Trump chilling though. Like he used to this. Like this is his life. Like he been doing
He
it.
golf 24/7. All he does is golf, chilling.
Yeah, he be chilling, bro. This don't even phase him.
What y'all want to do? Okay, I got you.
This don't
Chilling.
even phase him at this point.
Yeah, another thing in the bill. Just think about the people he doesn't care about. Cutting a bunch of stuff for like solar
Educate
power
the people,
and all that
bro.
stuff.
What?
A bunch of like solar power, clean energy, all that stuff's getting cut, like slashed. There's
Really?
no more tax credits, that type of shit like that. So they're going back to a lot more coal-based stuff, which is what his fan base likes because it's a big like conservative thing.
Why coal?
Coal miners is a blue-collar job. Those people tend to vote right, and a lot of the recent legislation over the last.
Hold on, let's take it back. So they're cutting solar what?
So a lot of the initiatives for clean energy, like solar and stuff like that, a lot of that stuff's getting slashed in favor of leaning back onto like oil and coal.
But why though?
Because people that run coal companies paid him to do that.
Okay, that's a better
being
answer.
honest.
Okay, let's just be okay, that makes sense.
Like most people that are benefiting from this bill paid into it in some way. Like,
yeah.
Elon Musk is mad right now, not because of Donald Trump as a person. He's mad because the EV tax credits are gone. That's why he's mad. Not because of like, oh man, like he's on the Epstein list. He only said that shit. He only said it to get some attention. You know, he don't care about that stuff. He on that list too probably. But like so yeah, like somebody in power and with this coal money was like, hey man, scratch our back, scratch yours. Wooty woo. Get it out of there. Mm-hmm. And that's bad for the environment, obviously, because they're also stripping the EPA of their ability to help protect the environment as much as they can. And you're giving tax credits and write-offs for private jet flights and yacht cruises, which are way worse than any car we could drive for the environment. So yeah, it's the I'm gonna kill you bill for sure.
That's crazy. But to wrap this up, my question is, what do you think is going to be the long-term effects of this and the short-term and long-term effects of this?
Oh yeah, also one more thing.
Go ahead.
Palantir, Peter Thiel, the database with all people in it, it started. It's
for real?
Yeah. Any account you use online that can tie your phone number to it, it's in the database. So you can be found easily. Through any username change you make, anything, any location you go to or move to or whatever, anything they can link either your social or your phone number to, it's in the database.
So I gotta get rid of this phone, dog.
That ain't gonna help you now.
Nah?
No.
Why not?
Doesn't matter.
What you mean? You said I gotta get rid of my phone.
They can find you, brother.
I know they can, bro.
Doesn't
I was
matter.
just trying to,
So yeah, that started. Peter Thiel's the guy who was like, when they asked him.
So my question is this even? Are we even free?
No.
No, like let's ask the real questions now.
No.
Like,
I don't think no American know what democracy really looks like.
This is some
dystopian stuff.
Some pseudo-developed, imaginary bubble bullshit that we're living in right now. This is we have a veil of fake freedom in front of our eyes.
Yeah,
and it's literally a veil. It's not real.
It's always been that.
The fact that, like you said, they will always be able to track you with your phone or your social. The social I understand, but the phone, don't forget, we have that on us 24/7, and we, as somebody to put their phone down for a day, they couldn't, bro. You know what I'm saying? Ask them to put it down for like an hour. Don't check it. You know what I'm saying? You go out with a girl, she checking that joint every fucking 5 minutes. Like, you know what I'm saying? They can't even put it down. And so, where is the freedom? You're always being watched. You're always being tracked. You can't even do the things you actually really want to do when you actually really sit down and think about it.
Well, yeah, we live in an authoritarian police state now. We have been for a while, but now it's like set in stone.
I think it's they're not even hiding it anymore.
They don't have to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
People justify whatever because the MAGA thing is like a cult. So people justify any of this stuff.
Dog, I don't even think it was happening before then. It's now it's just more apparent. You gotta. It was. We had a dictatorship, or we just had. I can't think of the words right now, but we had a dictatorship. We had lack of freedom covered, but we were blinded by consumerism.
Yeah.
Our consumerism allowed them to strip away our freedom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. Pre-Reagan, you know what I'm saying? They actually put the worker first. They actually put the average person first. Not to the crazy extent, but don't forget, like they said back in the day, they could afford a house. You know what I'm saying? You could afford 2 cars or a car, take 4 trips a year. You know, as a working man on a decent salary. Mm-hmm. Now with all this stuff,
But think about the jobs that you were
we
doing.
Can't do the same
think about the jobs that those people worked. Like
what?
Factories and stuff like that. Steel mills.
And what about them?
Car manufacturing plants, stuff like that. A lot of that stuff was taken out of the country
and gone somewhere else. Yeah,
because it's cheaper.
Exactly.
Because people were given leeway to do that.
Exactly.
Corporations, I mean. So, yeah, this country has it been for the average person for a very long time. It's been for the rich.
Yeah,
that's just what it is.
Yeah,
now. But now it's like in plain sight.
But the problem is that we don't even see it because we're able to buy stuff, but none of the stuff is good anymore. Everything's made cheaply. You gotta buy. Once you buy it, it'll be good for maybe a year, if that, and then you gotta go buy it again. Nothing's made good. It's just a veil. We keep consuming to fill this void, thinking that, oh, we're free, I can go to work 40 hours, some people work 80 hours a week, you know what I'm saying, 2-3 jobs,
still need Medicaid,
can barely afford their mortgage if they have a mortgage, can barely afford their rent, can barely afford all this stuff, insurance. Don't have any, let's not get into insurance, like they don't have insurance, but they're able to buy a little something here and there. They can buy themselves a little t-shirt off of Temu. You know what I'm saying? They can buy themselves a little something off of what's some other places people be shopping? Just it's just cheap stuff that
just buying crap.
Yeah, they're just buying crap, literal crap, and that's okay, and that's enough for us to just keep allowing them to do what they're doing, and it's unfortunate because people don't see it, or if it's either people don't see it, or the people who do see it, they just gave up and they just said, well, this is what it is, and I don't like the people who see what it actually is and then want to act like it's not. Those are the worst type of people, in my opinion.
Well, that's the people that's in charge. They're like, oh, you don't know.
I'm talking about the regular people who see what's going on, see the injustice, and don't speak up or don't even try to make a change.
Because a lot of times, people don't do nothing until it affects them directly. Like with the deportations and stuff like that. A lot of the Hispanic people voted for that stuff. But then when their family, who is undocumented and is in the process of becoming a citizen, are removed from the country forcibly, they are now reacting and say, oh, we got to do something about this. And it's like, you let these people, you voted for a Gestapo type of police to come and take you from your homes. You voted for that type of stuff. And I'm trying to pick on just the right-wing people because this is not fair to them. But that's the state of the country right now. That's who runs the country right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We read all these books. Fahrenheit 451, 1984. You have all this history to look at. You have fascist Italy. You have, of course, fascist Germany. I'm not going to say the name, but you know those people. You have, like, dictatorships and all that stuff. And we would never be like them. We can never be like them, but it's like, we are. It's just a veil of, like, it's not as brutal on the surface, but you dig a little deeper, it is that brutal.
They're taking plays out of the same playbook, man.
They have alligator Alcatraz. It's a work camp in Florida. Like, it's a work camp. They're putting people in a work camp. So, yeah.
Hey, man, I like what you said a little bit earlier, but basically leads into our next topic. No one is coming to save you.
No.
No one's coming to save you. And this 21-year-old proves it in the video that we have coming up for you. The art for doing for self. This is one of the biggest things that I believe in. I truly believe no one's coming to save you except for yourself. And anything you want, whether it's, it could be money, fame, or just even political justice, you got to take that next step to get that ball rolling because no one else is going to come and do it for you. You know what I'm saying? Do you have anything to say before we...
No, I'll play a video.
All right, cool.
I think they say it more than enough.
Yeah.
It's not my issue to fight. I believe...
So what's your issue to fight?
My issue, I fight for young black men before they die. And that's what I do in my organization. I do teach them to vote, but I don't tell them that voting is going to be the be-all, end-all.
No one says the be-all, the end-all, but it's a part of it.
But you got...
I already don't like the other guy. He's yelling. He's just... You see his energy?
That's Roland Martin.
Yeah.
Political commentator. Used to be on CNN, stuff like that. Yeah, he's annoying.
Yeah.
He's very annoying. Y'all see as the video goes on, he's one of those older guys, definitely older black people that are stuck in their ways that sort of have this sort of like, I trust the government type of mindset. And it's like, do you not see what's going on out here? Like, but I'll let it keep playing.
But you guys promote voting like it's just going to change like the systemic outlook of the black community. That's not where it's at. We have to get out and go do for self in our own communities.
So, okay, so define do for self.
when I say do for self, you shared one of my tweets, my videos, and I was actually a big fan of yours, but you shared one of my tweets when I said black people need to stop begging the government and go and do for self out in our communities. You shared the video and called me an idiot. I didn't see anything idiotic about that statement at all.
So when you say do for self, like what? Explain that.
Okay, for example, here in Albany, Georgia, we complain about our school systems a lot. Many of our young men can't read. They have very horrible literacy rates. We don't have any rehab programs here for juvenile offenders. What I decided to do, I started a program 2 years ago, decided to do for self, and I started taking children into my home. I started taking custody of kids from juvenile court, and I started molding them and training them and teaching them skilled trades, etc. Now I'm 21 years old. I just purchased a school here in Albany, Georgia, to combat us being in the government-funded schools that are not teaching our children what they need to learn.
That's crazy.
All this at 21.
21 years old.
21.
You know, also 21 years old.
Who?
Fred Hampton. But yeah, that's crazy. Opening a school and everything, like that's huge. People don't really understand how much that matters. Like the school.
I'm just so impressed. I'm sorry. I'm so impressed with how young he is to be able to take that leap. Bring people into his home, bring people into this place that he lives, and be able to teach them, valuable skills and valuable ideals.
That's that community stuff he's talking about that we always talk about.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like when it.
That is exactly
community. Have your own school, your own situation, your own programs, your own resources in your community for people to come and use. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You want to finish the video?
Yeah. That's what.
So that's what I mean by do for self. Simply getting up and going out and do it.
So
I beat the stereotype that I'm young, black in America, and I can't do anything because somebody's holding me down. Absolutely not.
So a question.
Teenagers went and go ahead. Me and some teenagers went and bought a school, and we just bought a school bus simply from going out and doing work. We decided to go fix our own communities. I'm not expecting anything from no politician. I'm not expecting nothing from Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or nobody. We're gonna go do it for ourselves, and that's what I believe we need to be doing. I can vote, sure, but nothing's gonna change in our community.
So you went to. So you
voted my issue.
Yeah. So. Yeah, man, that's what it's all about.
I really love this video.
Yeah.
When we put it onto the topics for this week, I was really happy to talk about this because this is one of the things that I've always been advocating for in all of our episodes.
Yeah.
No one's coming to save us, bro. We have to take the steps necessary for whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? He's taking it on a an educational, political level. It could just be for anything. If you want something to get done, if you want to see change within your community, your home, or within yourself, you got to take those steps that are necessary to get you to that point that where you want to be. And the fact that he's taking these young kids, what do you say? He bought a school. He got a school bus.
Yeah, a school bus. Yeah.
How you get that? What kind of mindset do you have to? What do you have to go through from 0 to 21 to be able to think like that?
A lot of people, man, will look around themselves and have nothing and find somebody to blame immediately. We do it, and our community happens. This is why you have leaders in place that can use your biases against you because you're struggling, but you have to find somebody to blame. It's not yourself. And a lot of times, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of systemic issues that affect people that will hold you down and limit you from getting somewhere in the moment. But you have to say, I'm alive, I'm here, I have some agency over my life. You gotta do something. And this young man, to me, like, obviously he's not rich or anything yet. He's not rich yet or anything like that, but he used the resources he had, the time he had,
exactly,
the friends he had,
exactly,
and he made things happen. Like, he didn't say it happened overnight, but he made it happen. You know what I'm saying? I think he started in his home, bringing kids to his house, like, hey, y'all come to my house, y'all can do your homework, stuff like that. Even stuff like that will go a long way. Like, that's the community we talk about. And I think, like what you're saying, I don't know what he went through, but even he went through something. He has amazing parents.
Yeah.
Or
support
amazing
system,
support
community, whatever.
Leaders. And people that tell him
around him. Yeah. Man, I forgot what I was going to say. But basically, it was just the fact, like, that's what it was. Like you said, he used the resources that he had available. A lot of people get discouraged because they feel as though they don't have what they need. Right, they don't feel as though they have what they need to accomplish or get done whatever they want to do. But I always say, you have everything you need. It's already in here. It's already within you. You don't need $100 million. Yeah, it would help, but you don't need that to get it started. And you don't even know how far that $1 you have could take you. That $1 could get you to that $100 million and more. You know what I'm saying? But if you never try, you don't need everything that you ever need to accomplish whatever it is that you set your mind on is already in with you. You already got everything you need. Don't listen to anybody tell you you're lacking anything. You got to do anything. Only thing you got to do is start. And if you start, you're going to see improvements and you're going to get whatever you put your mind to.
Yeah, that's the hardest part of starting.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I commend that young man, man.
Absolutely. And like a lot of that stuff seems like, well, not seem little, but even like having a school bus that get you from your house to go to your school at the same time every day, it seems little, but it goes a long way in a lot of these communities where that's not a normal thing, because a lot of kids just won't go to school. They'll be to school hella late because they got to get on the bus or the train or whatever else.
What time did you used to have to go to school?
I think our school opened at like 7:15.
And what time did you have to be at school?
At the latest, I think it was like 7:30.
Kids are not getting to school. They're getting on the bus at 9:30.
No, for real. I know.
Bro, what is going on?
It's, a lot of...
we had to be, sorry to cut you off, but we had to be there at 7:30 also.
A lot of times, like, these kids, like, will be living, especially, like, in lower income areas, their parents will probably be out working overnight or already out working. So the kids will get themselves up, probably their siblings up, too. And it's kids. So, I mean, you can tell the kid, hey, get up at 6 in the morning, but...
I'm talking, like, elementary school kids,
those
maybe
kids,
middle school.
they have to get their way to school on their own. They do.
And they don't be getting to
That's
school.
that government funding. That's a government funding stuff. And a lot of times, like, these kids will have that free time in the morning, whatever, and they'll do other things before they go to school. They'll just be truants or whatever. And that's why you need the community and somebody like him to say, hey, look, what time you going to be to school? I'll get y'all to school. I got a shuttle right here. We put the money down for them and get y'all to school. We're going to go in the neighborhood, pick everybody up, take y'all to school, and do it like that. And that stuff goes a long way, bro. And that's it. That's doing for self. We preach it all the time, but that's a perfect example of doing for self, especially in a way that's not selfish. Like, that's another thing.
Are we teaching black youth to depend or to dominate? So I can start. I feel like we say we are, but I don't think we truly are teaching these kids to dominate.
No. It's depend.
I feel like this might be a little slightly off topic, but we always tell kids you can do whatever you want, you can be whatever, which isn't bad stuff, but you're not showing these kids how to get what you want. You don't show these kids how to be the type of person that will get anything they ask for and put their mind to. We just say they can, and then we don't show them. We don't put, I know we keep saying leaders and all this stuff, but we aren't. We're just putting a bunch of cliche stuff into their head that with no action that they can replicable, whatever, you know what I'm saying, that they can replicate and be able to be like, hey, I can do this, and this will get me to the result I want to. So I don't think they're teaching them to actually dominate. They're just saying, oh yeah, you can, but how are you going to do it if you haven't showed them to? You know what I'm saying? Or instill the values in them, the mindset to be able to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. Yeah, like you said, it's easy to tell people one thing, but to show them a path that makes sense for them is very difficult. And a lot of times it's a mystery to the people that are telling the kids what they can do.
Yeah,
they haven't done it themselves.
I know they haven't done it themselves.
But that's why we need more people around us that look like us, that have done those things, that can give you the blueprint. Like, hey, you wanted to be a lawyer? Well, go to school like this and do law school like this and stuff like that. It goes a long way. Yeah.
So let's take it. I'm gonna say I like that point that you had. People that look like us. The fact that Jesus is white. Do you think that has anything? I mean, I'm talking about the images. The images that they have in there and stuff like that. Do you think that plays a role in?
That was on purpose. Yes, to keep people in a certain mindset that you can't never be godly, because God is this way and you're not that. The Mormon Church says that if you have black skin, that means you were turned away from God or something like that. That's what that means. The mark of something. It's like
what's crazy? That's the second. Why is that? I just heard of that same thing yesterday.
I don't know.
Yeah, they said they're cursed.
Yeah, if you're dark skin, you're cursed. Cursed to be away from God or something like that. The Mormons are pretty powerful, but they're not like the main Christianity. But whatever. Not besides the point. Yeah, a lot of times it's calculated. Obviously, they show, and we'll talk later about the past trauma thing. How they try to show certain stuff. They try to show our leaders as such like ancient figures. Like every picture of MLK is not in black and white. It wasn't that long ago. Like stuff like that. Like it's it's the truth to it. Like, yeah, they made Jesus white on purpose because in their mind, the only way that you could be holy and godly is to be their color.
Yeah, man. You made some great points. We're gonna get to the next topic, but I'm gonna just reiterate what I said. Everything that you need, you already have. All you have to do is get started. I'm gonna continue to push that into you guys' head because I don't want you guys to think coming from a place of lack, thinking that you don't have enough of whatever it is you think you need to get started on whatever endeavor you
It's
have.
either you look at it like this, like it's either one day or it's day one. That's all you can do. That's from The Rock said that. One day or day one. You're not a fan of The Rock?
Bro, he never picks a side, bro.
Yeah. I'll be telling people this and they don't understand what I'm saying. The Rock is black, right? But you don't perceive him as black. You perceive him as just The Rock.
Yeah, he knows that.
That's crazy. That's on purpose. It's like, I'm not a fan of that. Like, I think, you know who else had that for a while, but I think he kind of realized it right now? Will Smith. And Snoop Dogg, too.
What you mean?
I think Snoop Dogg is perceived as Snoop Dogg.
Oh, yeah, he's
not as like a black person. But now it's kind of going back to the black person.
I don't know, bro.
I don't think y'all know in the 90s, he was enemy number one.
Yes.
Murder charge, all that. He turned it around.
I think people.
Then he pulled this MAGA coon stuff, and then people look at him like, hold on, brother.
I think people liked Snoop Dogg because he was the stereotypical black man.
So he's a minstrel.
I think that's what it is. It's not that, you know, they just, Snoop, they love Snoop.
Smoke weed.
Like, you know, smoke weed.
Smoke weed in a five-star restaurant.
What's up, dog? Man. Like, you know, Snoop Doggy Dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was never about, like, The Rock is The Rock. He always wanted to be ambiguous. He
Vin Diesel also.
Oh, yeah, facts.
It's a black man.
Facts.
If y'all didn't know that.
Facts.
But you perceive as Vin Diesel.
Will Smith? You think he was?
I think he I think he lived his life, right? Movie star guy, did the show, whatever. And Fresh Prince is a black show, don't get me wrong. You look at it, and the things they talk about are black stuff. But outside of that, Will Smith is just Will Smith. They slapped that boy at the Oscars, and it's like, oh, you're banned, black man. You can't do that shit up here. What are you doing? Like, you're banned.
So you think it was him?
What, that did it to himself? Yeah, I think he thought he was moving a certain way. On top of the little drama with his wife, his mental was not right, obviously. But I think he kind of acted out his body. Listen, I'm not one of them guys, right? I would never say to a black person, don't act a certain way, don't act like yourself because of we're around white people and stuff like that. But at the Oscars, brother.
That was crazy.
You gonna smack them at the Oscars?
That was...
In front of all these good people? I'm not the guy to say, don't act black, don't be yourself in these white environments. But the Oscars, brother? And then she was like, I ain't asked him to do it. He called me his wife in years.
Hey, man, the whole Jaden Will thing, I could go... I got...
Yeah, thankfully we weren't starting this at that time. Yeah. We had like a whole month episode just
That's
that.
what I'm saying. I could talk a lot about their whole...
You listen to his new music lately?
Ass.
You think it's all ass?
Ass.
I agree. I'm not gonna argue with you.
Ass.
Are you also a fan of, like, in general though, like historically?
No.
You like Summertime? Come on, you like Summertime.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
No.
I think that's the only Will Smith song I like. Other than
You don't like Summertime?
Like I said.
Summertime. It's a good song right now.
No, bro.
Sit back and
like I said,
Nightmare
on Elm Street.
You hate.
And then the Fresh Prince theme
Oh,
song.
you hating.
Now I'm hating, bro. I'm hating now. Summertime like that.
Yes, you hating. I wish you could play it, but the copyright.
Right.
You hating.
Nah, I wasn't. I never disliked Will Smith. It was just like, oh, Will Smith.
See what I'm saying? He just Will Smith.
Yeah, it was just.
You never perceived him as no.
Nah, I knew he was black, bro.
I'm not saying that, but you know what I mean. You don't. When you see him, that's just Will Smith. It's not. Oh, that's black guy Will Smith, black actor Will Smith. That's not.
I see what you're saying.
The Rock.
It was more for The Rock. It was more for The Rock.
You know another person?
Who?
You're not a football guy, right? Or you are kind of.
Kind of who?
Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah.
It's a black man.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
But them crackers probably look at him like, that's just Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Throw that ball. He nice.
Yeah.
Now Lamar Jackson, that's a brother. They know.
They know.
They know he black. They said, yeah.
That's why he gets a lot of hate. He doesn't like. Lamar, I'm talking about, gets a lot of
Yeah.
hate for whatever.
Yeah.
You know, because the way he looks, like there's no, you can't deny that's a black brother.
Yeah.
When you see and hear Lamar, that's a black brother.
We see it throughout history, plenty of times to Allen Iverson. Like Michael Jordan. I think Michael Jordan is just Michael Jordan. I don't think he really black to them people.
No, that's a. He's
I think Michael Jordan just Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Especially when he be like Republicans about sneakers too, and he don't like rappers and all that. He just a brother. He just Michael Jordan. That's just Michael Jordan.
I think, yeah.
I think LeBron is a black man to them people. Now I think it's a little more because he's so famous. It's kind of, but when he step out and he be openly about his stuff and saying his opinions, they be turning him a little bit. Shut up and dribble. About LeBron.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Keep in mind who y'all be looking up to, man. A lot of them they ain't really brothers for real. They just masquerade.
I feel you.
Or they use it when it's convenient.
Yeah, I agree, man. Hey, man, let's get into the next topic. Pop the balloon hair drama, man. So basically, on the show, Pop the Balloon, I know you guys heard of it.
I know y'all have.
Probably seen it. A debate erupts over one man's comment about black women's hair. The pushback was instant, passionate, and divided.
Yeah. I'll play a video for y'all. I want to say, number one, shout out to Arlette, the host. She started the whole Pop the Balloon thing.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's one of the few times I've seen like a black idea not get stolen. Like,
That's
and
insane.
pioneered. She
That's
really has
insane.
mastered this, like, and has the market cornered on it.
Yeah. I just want to say one thing, though. CIA don't got to even do nothing no more, man. We do it ourselves now, man.
You know my least favorite part of Pop the Balloon is?
What?
A lot of episodes, the people be like 40. Like a bunch of 38, 40-year-old niggas and women, men and women on Pop the Balloon.
Childish.
Pop the Balloon, you're 40 years old trying to date via Pop the Balloon. That's insane to me. You can go to bingo.
But what does that say then?
And now, is she someone that's your type?
Not so much.
And why not?
I'll say more so like the hair.
She bad though. You see it? You see it?
Yeah, I seen her.
I got something to say about this, but I'm gonna wait.
So more so attracted to longer hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's not right. You should never said that at all. As a black brother, you should
Another bad one.
have kept that as what it was. You should have just said, you know, you're not just my type. But hair, it's a different, you can't talk about hair. If you want hair, go get what you want. If you want Becky with the long hair, go get what you want. Don't talk to black women up here about hair. That's just it. And I'm not triggered.
Her hairstyle, there's nothing wrong with it. So it's my preference, right? So if I'm here to date, I'm here to find someone for me.
You want to start? You want me to start?
You start.
So, first of all, her hair is long. It's black woman's hair. It's got shrinkage at the moment. I think this guy's African, just by his demeanor, how he looks, stuff like that. And I'm gonna explain why that matters in a second. But their mindset in terms of like women and our women and stuff, that a lot of them are still kind of Eurocentrically like influenced to look at like longer hair. It's like her hair is long. It's just got shrinkage in the afro right now. Like, what are you talking about?
But he can't have an opinion.
You sure can have a preference. And the second lady, you are triggered. It's okay.
She's
It's
very
okay to say that.
She's very
I am
triggered.
annoyed by what you said.
You could tell when she said it was the part where she said, "If you want Becky with the long hair."
Yeah, like that's triggered because now you're reaching. Now you're projecting onto him something that you were thinking, which I was thinking too. I ain't gonna lie. But I think I say is he African because like I said, a lot of them have a Eurocentric mindset about certain things in their women's hair and stuff like that, and they have like a sort of self-hate in them. A lot of black African Americans do as well, obviously, but I feel like Africans do.
It's colored people.
Colored people in general, yeah. But Africans, I think Africans and like West Indian people, like Caribbean, a lot of them have that self-hatred in him. Nico talking about longer hair. You got a damn fade that's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, no, and like you said, her hair was really long.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like
he's
you
goofy
said,
for that.
he was definitely. I'm not gonna say he's goofy. That come on, I'm not gonna say he's goofy. That he can have his preferences. The part that I'm upset about is that everyone popping the balloon because he said that he liked longer hair, and we know, and I know, we all know where that came from. It was the fact that they're thinking, oh, he likes white women. Like
that's what I was thinking too, though. But I don't think that's what I think.
But why can't he have
I'm about
a
to sound
preference
so bad
for,
saying this, bro.
Why can't he just like women with longer hair?
There's nothing wrong with that.
But
I'm about to sound so bad saying this.
What?
Because I'm judging this man based off of a couple seconds of a video. He's a bunny hopper for sure.
You really think so?
He dad was in the snow a lot.
I see. Now I wish I
think
watched.
he's like 50-50.
Now I want to watch the rest of the episode because now I want to see if he
Ain't no
picked
wonder
anybody.
so the whole balloons got popped over his ass
shit.
anyway. His ass is done. The sad part is the first girl that he talked about, she was looking in his eyes like, this was really handsome. Wow. She was into him. And he was like, it's like a longer hair, bro. Like, damn, brother.
All right.
No, but the problem with that is like, with black women's hair, it's like you do know why a lot of black women go for shorter hairstyles or the wigs or they braid their hair down a lot, because the maintenance that goes with black women's hair is a lot more than other people's hair. I'm not gonna say other people's hair. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's a trigger for me too. Not as much as she was, but it does tell me that you don't understand us as much as you probably should.
But why can't he just like women with longer hair?
Why
Why couldn't it have been like dreadlocks?
Two things can be true. Two things can be true. He can like women with longer hair, but his approach, his reasoning to that can also be flawed, in my opinion. And that's just how I feel about it. So I do think the longer hair in his mind is not like braids or something.
Now you're assuming.
I think it's straight hair.
Now you're assuming.
I think it's like long straight hair.
Now you're assuming it could have been braids. Could have been.
I don't think so.
Says who? Because like she had long hair, but it didn't come down to past her shoulders.
But
Maybe
it probably
he like.
would if she did like this.
But it didn't, and he didn't see that.
But if he knew his sisters how he should, he would know their hair got shrinkage. That's what I'm saying.
But he didn't see it.
This is a cornball brother.
He didn't see it on his
But
first
you should just
interaction
know.
with. You should just know.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, right? When you out and about and you see black women, do you know which one got a wig and which one don't?
Yeah.
Because you know, brother.
Yeah.
Come on now. You wouldn't be this type of balloon talking about.
Because my mom.
Thank you. Exactly. Your mom or your sister.
My sisters.
Or your cousins or your
niece,
girlfriend or
all
anybody.
yeah.
Anybody. But if you're a bunny hopper, you might not know that. And that's what he is.
But she ain't have a wig on.
Maybe she should have. Maybe she would have got picked.
All right, so I'm taking a step back. Let's go. He had his preference.
Absolutely.
And he got ostracized for it. But don't forget,
Okay, look.
the women talking about the height. He gotta make this type of money. Let's not even go about money. Let's go with height, bro. Let's go with height. What else? What other things that you like? The face structure, beard, and all that. Like, it seems as though men can't have preferences.
No. Here's what I'm trying to.
Women can.
Here's what I want to say to you.
Just
right?
a question.
Oh, I agree. A lot of that stuff, we're human beings, right? It's all superficial anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely all superficial.
Which is fine. You have eyes, you got to use them.
Yeah.
I think the problem was the place where his thing was coming from seems like it's more than just like, I just like longer hair. That's all it is.
Why are you trying to push this on this man? You don't know this man. He probably really loves sisters.
I know this brother. I done met this
He
brother
probably
many times.
really loves sisters.
I done met brothers like this many times. I can tell by his haircut immediately. And his demeanor.
It was the cut, no.
He's a bunny hopper.
It was the cut.
You don't get no damn hot top fade no more. You crazy? It's not tapered. This is a fade.
Nah, that's insane, bro.
No, but the place where it came from was very much, it just felt like, oh, you one of them niggas. Like, that's what it felt like, right?
And they felt it. That's why they all popped.
That's only way I can explain it to you is that it's just a feeling. I felt like, you one of them. That's what it feels like.
You think so, bro?
Now, don't get me wrong. The women talking bad about the dudes with height and all that stuff, and like the money, whatever, or if you're bald or not, all that stuff. It's all preferences, and it's fair to have them. But it is crazy how you'll never date a man who's 5'9" or whatever.
I think my biggest
You
thing.
couldn't even fucking tell me how tall he is by looking at him anyway. So how do you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, it is unfair because you can't change how tall you are or something like that. I'm 6 foot. You can't change how tall you are.
6'8", by the way.
You can't change how tall you are. You can't change certain things. So it is unfair.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're all superficial human beings anyway. The whole point of the show is superficial shit anyway.
Yeah.
You're standing in a row popping balloons because somebody is wearing tighter pants than you like. His ankles are showing. I'm gonna pop the balloon. Have you seen episodes of this?
What?
This show.
Yeah.
The stuff they pop for is like insanely like just random stuff.
Yeah. And that's just why I brought up, the women talking about the height, because women be real picky too.
Just a little
the
too short
guys
for
do
me.
too.
Just a little too.
Yeah,
not my
like
time.
and like you said, everyone has their preferences, bro. And if I'm being honest, I don't even think none of that stuff really matters. No, hear me out. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that, like you said, she don't really know how tall you are. When you say you can't really tell how tall the person is.
I think it's more so just like shorter. For most women, I feel like it's if you're near their height or shorter,
bro.
Then it's a problem. If you're noticeably taller, then it's like,
it's not, bro. It's not even none of that. It's about the feeling.
Yeah, true.
It's about the feeling.
That's also true.
No, it's when I say the feeling, like you said, they don't know who's 6 foot and who's not.
It's just the feeling.
It's the feeling.
How do you feel yourself?
If you really think about it, like you said, you don't know 5'11", 5'10", 5'9", 5'8". You can't tell, especially the girl real short. And they, it's about the feeling, how whatever their, I guess, not imagination, but imagination, their fantasy, their idea of the person.
At the end of the day, like attraction to somebody is so much more. It comes with all that stuff at once. Mm-hmm. And like, you might see somebody who's not normally your type that you're attracted to just because of the vibe you get from them. Yeah. That's why stuff like this is not really a real representation of it, because it's standing in a white room popping balloons. Like, you have to go off of looks. You can't really get a vibe with somebody because you're standing in line waiting for them to talk to you. It's like, it's weird. Yeah. So, I just find this stuff so funny because it's like, the women and the man on this show are probably all like 35 plus. Why are y'all the pot balloon show? Or 20v1 or something like that.
They single, ready to mingle. The 20v1 is stupid, bro.
20v1 is literally CIA propaganda.
Yeah.
This is a little, sometimes not as bad because a lot of people on there use like, they're like educated people or like.
Bro. I seen one where it was like 65, 70 plus, and they was just as bad.
Like their ages?
Yeah. Like they were 65, 65 to 70 like year olds getting on the show, pop the balloon, and acting just as bad as these younger people are. Just like it just seems like it doesn't change, or maybe not for everybody. I'm not going to generalize it, but there are people who never get out of that mindset that they were in when they were
high school mindset.
Yeah, the high school mindset. These people, some of them never married. Some of them never whatever. It's just,
I would assume you ain't married if you want to pop the balloon. Or you've been divorced or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that one. I think that one was crazy just to see that.
So what do you think our community needs to no longer need this type of stuff? Do we need like dating coaches or something? Do we need like sound advice from people older than you? Like, what do you need to not go and pop the balloon when you're 37 years old?
I think it's more of
because I'll be damned.
It's more of I guess realistic standards and understanding of who you want people to settle. No, I never said that.
But it sounds like.
What's settling?
Somebody that you know is not fit all check all your boxes.
What are you checking off your boxes? Pause. I don't think they're settling at all, because most of the time the people's idea doesn't even come from them. It was given to them by either TV, by media. So it's not even, they're not settling at all. They're trying to live up to an expectation. They're looking for something that doesn't exist.
So you think a lot of people date to show other people, like, look what I got?
Yeah. Definitely. And it's also, I think people have been brainwashed to think that this is what they want based off, like I said, media, television, growing up watching all these either Disney movies or these just like love movies that's showing all
just this. Say their name.
What?
Them
movies?
Them Tyler Perry movies.
I'm not shouting.
Say it, man.
I'm not shouting that shit out, man.
No, it ain't shouting. Just say it. People want like the perfect man or woman who's
but the problem,
godly, but also
the problem is that perfect man was never their perfect man.
True.
That was the idea that Tyler Perry or the white man or someone else put into their head, and that's why it never works out for y'all, because it's not your man, it's not your woman. It's someone else's person that they put in your head. When you really think about it.
Nah, it's true. It's true.
That's when you really think. That's the craziest
part. Both genders have this problem so bad.
They both do. And until you fucking get that out of your head, you're gonna keep failing because you're looking for someone else's perfect man, someone else's perfect woman, and not your perfect person. And that's the craziest part. People don't even see that.
So how do you get out of that? You just approach stuff just with like an organic mind, like just approach stuff like
you gotta first realize that idea that you had of that person was never yours. It was given to you, forced onto you, and And then that's where you start from there. And then you can start to peel back the layers and be like, okay, what do I actually want? What am I actually looking for? Because people always say, I want this type of guy. But it's still some shit that someone else told them that they wanted. They don't know what they actually looking for. Because like I said before, it's about the feeling. You know what I'm saying? They get with these people who look a certain way and check off all these boxes that they had from they developed when they was kids. You know what I'm saying? But then when they find that real person that hit them right in here, it's like, what the fuck? That's when they come. Not the phony. Oh, you was never my type, because they're actually settling. Not them type of person.
His girlfriend, Travis Hunter's girlfriend. I forget.
Not them type of people who are actually settling because whatever. I'm talking about the people who be like, oh shit, like this wasn't my type because I didn't even envision this type of person being possible.
Because the world told you want a light-skinned baddie.
It doesn't,
but
yeah,
you don't need
exactly. That. Or, the white Becky with the long hair, like we was talking about there, or fucking Chad and Tyrone and fucking, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's never who you actually really wanted.
Yeah.
That's never who you actually really needed.
Yeah.
If we getting down to the nitty-gritty.
That's real, man. You're really passionate about this.
I am.
I see, man. That's good, man.
I am, because niggas, they don't see it.
No, they don't.
They don't see it. And then by the time they see it, it's not too late, but it's like they person maybe passed them by.
You watch Love Island?
No, I don't watch none of that stuff. I don't watch none of that stuff. Because like I said, they're pushing all these bad narratives and all this other stuff into your head. I don't like watching that stuff.
That stuff is brain rot. Not a fan.
Yeah, I don't.
You have any Labubu's in your house?
What the hell is a little boo-boo?
Like a little thing you buy, like a trinket you put on your keychains, all that. It's like a little devil-looking thing, like a troll doll.
No. Why would I have that?
Just checking your temperature, see how much of a consumer you are. You feel me?
Consumer.
That's the thing right now.
What?
People consuming.
Oh yeah, no.
Labubu's. That's the thing.
Really? Now, are you trolling right now?
I'm not. Aiden, pull a picture of Labubu right now.
Please put a Labubu, because I don't know what a Labubu is.
Yeah, that's what they on right now. Labubu's.
I'm not.
That's another thing. People told you wanted, and you got it. People told you wanted the girl to be BBL. You get her, and she has no personality. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah. Like when you really.
Or you want that 6'7" guy that's buff and tatted up. You get him, and it's like he never had to talk to nobody because all women approach him, so now he has no personality.
It's not even that. Y'all don't even connect because that was never your person.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It has nothing to do with he never had to talk. It had nothing, because that's not who your person was that you were supposed to be with.
Your person probably 5'6", good guy, work out a lot, has a good job, stuff like that.
Why you had to put all? No, because now they want what the fuck?
That's the truth.
It's not about that, bro. It has nothing about these physical characteristics.
It's
bro.
about the person you're talking to.
It's about the feeling and about the emotion, bro. The energy that's in motion, bro. Emotion. You feel me?
Okay.
What you mean? Okay.
You
don't agree?
I believe you.
No, you don't agree?
To an extent, I do. But I think like we're human beings, bro. Superficial stuff will always stop us from like people might meet somebody they like him a lot, but it's like she just not my type. She's fat, or like he just not my type. He's he's ugly. He's just ugly to me. But I like him as a person, but he's ugly. You know what I mean?
All right, let's take it back. Let's take it back to like pre-social media and all that stuff. Right? No, let's take it back.
Then I would probably say back then it was like it was more like about like what you can do for me, like social status, or like if you're a successful kind of guy, you're like a strong man or something like that.
Let's take it back. You were in the smaller communities. You didn't have access to. You didn't get to see this person, that person.
That is another big thing. Yes.
You didn't get to see that person, see this person, be able to talk to this person. So you were only able to talk within the people that were in your community. And because you were so close knit, you were able to see them in different interactions with other people, and then be like, oh, okay, maybe this wasn't been the person that I was physically attracted to, but he's can do this, not for me, but he's able to influence my environment around me in a certain way that actually, aligns with what I'm actually looking for in my life.
You know what I think the problem is? I think with social media and all that, I think people see too many sexy people all the time. You're not meant to see that many sexy people all the time.
Bro, I hear that, bro.
You're just not meant to see that many people.
I hear that, bro.
You see thousands of attractive people all the time. Now you're sitting here comparing yourself to them, or you're thinking about what would she be like, or what would she be like? And it's like you're never gonna even look in front of you to the people that you already know that might be in your life, or that could be in your life, that are in your area that you might like and have actually something meaningful to build with you, because you're worried about so much other stuff and the fantasy of other stuff.
Yeah,
that's why I think it's a problem, because we can really break it down, like in history, right? Before modern times, like who would really see that many women in their life as a man? A king? An emperor or something? I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like Alexander the Great? I don't know who else would see thousands of attractive women all the time, or attractive men. Or
so
whatever.
what is that? What are you saying that affects?
Your brain.
In what way?
It wires your brain to think that certain stuff is normal when it's not. Like, you're not gonna meet a bunch of 10s everywhere you go, and they're all gonna be rich and successful and freakiest people you ever met and stuff like that. You have to meet somebody who you relate to, who you find attractive, who you can build something with. A lot of times people want like these built people already. That's I think the problem is people want somebody to come already built because social media told them that your man and woman should be this and this already when you get them, and it's like that's not how life works.
You just said what I said.
I think we're agreeing, but
social media said.
Yeah, I think we're agreeing.
Someone else said
Someone else built your man for you.
They built the person for him.
And people understand, like, when you're with somebody, you gotta, from what I know, you gotta build each other up to be who you want them to be. You feel me?
You think so?
You start with just liking them for who they are, and then you just build on the traits you like and help them get rid of traits that aren't good, and you just do it like that.
I don't even think it's building. I think you guys are just growing together.
Yeah, same thing.
Nah, it's different. Building has it sounds like work. People don't like work.
That's their damn problem. They don't want to work. They want to get the one that's already built for them.
Nobody want to work, bro. Let's be honest.
I don't want to work. That's why I'm doing this podcast. Duh.
But all I'm saying is, man, really think about not even just the person. Just think about everything that's been. I don't want to use brainwash. Someone told you this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to like. This is how you're supposed to feel. You never actually sat down and figured out what do you like? What do you want? It has always been told to you. All right, brother. Let's get into our last topic. Pain and trauma are genetically transferred. What if the pain of slavery didn't just end? It lives in your body. So, Aliko Youssef Shakur, aka Smart, gives a graphic breakdown of some of the horrors of slavery, then links them to the modern emotional pain passed down genetically. So basically what he's saying is that, and this has been proven, that it has been scientifically proven. There's a whole documentary on it, but basically the stuff that you feel from your parents, whatever, I hate using the word trauma, bro, but the traumas, the feelings that they had, whatever they went through can be passed on to you, especially if a woman's pregnant. The baby can inherit all that stuff. So if a woman's in a bad environment while she's pregnant and has the baby in there, the baby can receive all that negative energy, and then it will affect the way that it interacts with its environments when it's actually here.
Like Krishan Rock, baby.
Don't talk about. I heard the baby got that thing now. For drinking too much.
Yeah, she never stopped her lifestyle while pregnant. Baby
That
got
is so
whatever.
mad. I forgot what it's called.
Fetal alcohol something.
Syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna play a video for y'all. I just want to say, Aliko Youssef Shakur, big fan of this guy. I just found him because of looking for content for the show, but I looked at his page. I looked into more stuff. He's just a really smart dude. Like, unironically, like, he's a smart dude. He's a versatile guy. I think he's a boxer also.
Oh wow.
Really interesting guy. Like, he's a really smart guy. Though. He knows his history.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play the video for y'all. Strong language warning, because it is graphic.
The lynches and shit, bro. It's so much more shit, bro. You ever see Texas Chainsaw Massacre? The inspiration came from the plantation. You ever see Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah, of course.
Leatherface.
I hate to say this now, but it's one of my favorites. That's crazy.
It's funny because it's a movie, right? But that was the reality.
Yeah,
Don't you hate that when you laugh about something and then somebody just like, stop laughing, nobody get real sick.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
And then you just feel like, damn, I was laughing at this shit.
I started laughing because he was laughing. Not because it was funny, which is, you know what I'm talking about.
Kill your brother and win his face.
Wow.
Fuck you. Hold on. They would kill your brother and win his face while they fucked you. Hold on, no. Let me finish this, guard. They would kill your brother and win his face while they fucked you in the ass in front of your fucking wife. Right? While she's pregnant. And then rip the baby out her stomach. Step on the baby's head. Murder you like what? And then take your grandmother and your grandfather in a pot and boil them. And you so hungry, you so starving, they feed you to pieces, man. You think bro, you think I give a fuck about some cracker? Huh? You think I give a fuck? We forgot. They don't teach you that part of slavery. You see? So this is what we was going.
No, they really do be trying to censor slavery.
Yeah. there's a lot of books on this topic because this stuff is saying is true. This is documented stuff.
Can we say slavery?
Yeah.
I'm so serious nowadays.
I don't
bro.
know. I don't know.
All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna do it. A lot of this stuff he's saying is documented. Like, I want y'all to understand this stuff. Slavery ended in 1865. People weren't free until like 67. People were still under that same type of bondage though through sharecropping for another 100 years almost.
The last slave wasn't free. The last slave wasn't free till 1920 something or 18. One of the two.
A lot of people, these stories are passed down. People who had parents or grandparents that were slaves only died recently. My great grandmother died in 2016. She was 96 years old. She was born in 1920. So her parents were slaves. Her parents were living in the same environment that the slavery was just happening in as they grew up. The sharecropper farms, all that type of stuff. So it's not that far away, y'all. It's really not. But
What we went through. So Nat Turner, like, yo, bro, like, enough is enough. What we want to do? So he had a secret meeting. He said, yo, man, look, who want to be free? Everybody stood up. I bet. Whoever's willing to do whatever, take 3 steps forward. Right? So brothers, not everybody did, but most of them, right, took 3 steps forward. Now, everybody that took 3 steps forward, they gave him a machete. They said, now look, turn around. You see the brothers that didn't step forward? Kill them all. Because those are not your brothers.
That's crazy.
You see?
That's insane.
Yeah.
Now that hurts, bro.
Yeah. Nat Turner led a revolt, of course. If y'all don't know who that is, one of the bigger slave revolts. Ultimately, he was not successful. Some people were free, but he did not succeed. He did not get away.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Let me know in the comments if you do know or you have not heard of Nat Turner.
Yeah, please let us know. I want to also get a gauge on that. To put it in perspective, I'm gonna use our words wisely here because I don't want YouTube to kill us.
They're already gonna kill us before.
When Nat Turner was caught, not only was he hung, he was stripped, castrated. If you don't know what that means, look it up. He was like skinned alive. He was like boiled, and people would take pieces of his body home with them and stuff like that. Just because he led a revolt. To put that in perspective. So I try to tell people this stuff like it's not that far away. Like I said earlier, when they try to portray like MLK or Malcolm X in black and white pictures and stuff like that, it was not that far away from now. People that were alive and well then are alive today. Older but still alive. When you look at like Ruby Bridges going to the school, the first integrated school, and the little girl getting stuff thrown at her, they're holding the baby dolls with the noose around their neck. The people in that video bullying her are still alive. She has an Instagram page. She's still alive. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that far away. That's why I do believe the trauma comes down because it is not that far away from where we are today.
Like you said, they try to make it seem like it was so far away. It was literally
purposefully done.
100, maybe not even 100 years ago, maybe.
Not even.
Yeah, you know, like you know, it's like they try, like you said, they try to portray it so far away, and like you said, our grandparents, great grandparents lived through that stuff.
To break it down, like even further, like the Civil Rights Act was passed in what 1968,
78, yeah, something like that.
That means that the first black people born with rights, all their rights were born after that. So that's 50 years ago or so. Like my dad was born in 71.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of our parents.
My dad was born in 71. My mom born in 72. Your dad is born in the 60s, right? So he's born without all his rights. He grows up with them, but he at one point in time in his life he couldn't go in certain places or do certain things. Stuff like this, and it applies to not just black people, but like women. Like it applies like women couldn't buy a house by themselves until like the 70s or something like that. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't get a loan for a house to the 70s. It's like this stuff is not far away.
It's not.
But back to the subject at hand.
No, I want to say something though. Before we move forward, take the time to talk to these people that are still alive, to gain the knowledge and the understanding of the history that they went through before they are gone. We don't understand how valuable that information is because once they're gone, and it's not written down or it's not recorded, they can change history to be whatever they want it to be. And I think that's the most important thing. If you have someone in your life, your great-grandparent who was born in the 20s, it doesn't even have to be that old. Take the time out of your day to talk to your parents, your grandparents, whoever who's lived in a time before you, to understand what was going on during that time, so that when someone else a couple years down the line try to tell you that this happened, you'll be like, no. My mom lived through this. My grandmother, I know what actually happened. You're not going to tell me what happened and I know the actual truth. You're not going to fabricate some information and then try to push it on to us. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's one of the things I really want to make sure
all the questions you can. If you don't have any grandparents, anybody older than you, they know somebody older than
That's
them.
what I'm saying. You know somebody. Either you got teachers, you got family members, you got someone in your neighborhood, your community, someone that you work with,
your boss,
anybody. Anybody. Talk to these people, because once they're gone, once that generation's gone, and especially if it's not recorded, even if it is recorded, they'll try and burn it, throw it away, and manipulate, change it. I always bring it up. My nieces think that slavery, they were indentured servants, dog. Indentured servants. There's a big difference between an indentured servant and a slave, bro. There's a big difference. Yeah. And if they don't understand that, I don't want them to think that, I came from slavery, so now they got this mentality that I'm a slave, I'm nothing. I don't want that. I want you to understand what your parents started from and where they became. So then you can do more than what they did. So you can actually understand the truth and know what you're dealing with out in this crazy world.
I want you to understand who you're in the rooms with, who you integrating with in these rooms, who these people are. Because their parents know, and their parents told them what's going on. And they passed that stuff down. So there's a book called The Delectable Negro. I don't know who the author is off the top of my head, but there's a book about a lot of instances of cannibalism, stuff like that, and that's on slaves. So they would do stuff like stuff furniture with black people's hair. They would force black people to eat each other. They would take the teeth out of black people's mouths and use them as their own dentures. Like George Washington did that. His teeth were not wooden; they were other people's teeth.
Stop playing. I knew that, but that's so crazy.
Their teeth were.
He had wooden teeth.
His teeth were other people's teeth that he owned. Stuff like that. So when people try to tell you oh well, this person treated their slaves this way, or it wasn't that bad. It was worse than what you think it was actually. So yeah, this stuff to me, I hate talking about it, but you gotta talk about it. You have to talk about it. People have to know this stuff happens. And unfortunately, if it takes a bunch of movies to come out to show this stuff, and the only way you can learn is do a movie, there is a Nat Turner movie also that came out. If you can't read a book or something like that, and you want to know about it some way, Nat Turner has a movie that came out as well, unfortunately. Yeah, man,
So the only thing I want to say, though, before that, I don't want it to be used to perpetuate hate, though.
No.
No, because that's what people will do. Because when you see those type of things, I remember during the riots, I saw all these people doing stuff on Twitter, doing stuff to people, and it made me afraid. And it made me hateful. And I don't want that to be the thing, because that just continues the cycle of hate between the two. Because we literally just talked about, we don't have this. You know what I'm saying? We have a common enemy. We keep putting each other at enemy. It's not to do that. It's to understand. We need to understand this information to understand, why did this happen? Why did this go through? So we don't make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We cannot perpetuate hate, because that just continues the cycle. And I want to make sure that I'm not saying to just, everything's so sweet. And I'm not saying, I'm not one of them. I'm not like that, bro. But at the same time, I'm just saying, at the same time, bro, we can't keep continuing the cycle, bro.
Absolutely.
And that's a hard one, though. That's a hard one for...
It's difficult.
To accept, because of...
When you hear stuff like this, and it's like... When you hear what he talked about, was what they were doing to people. We're talking about buck breaking, all type of stuff. I'm gonna use these terms. I don't want to say what I want to say, because I want you have to just look up these words and understand what they mean. Because YouTube's gonna kill us if I say what I want to say. Buck breaking, stuff like that. When you talk about this stuff and you realize that, historically speaking, it is not that far from now. And you look at the people that are still alive today. You look at how some people have homes that were built on plantations, and they have paperwork in their basement with people's names on them that they bought and sold. They have furniture in their house that's stuffed with the hair of African American people. They have stuff like that in general. Yeah, people might have, in Django, where the part where he talks about when Kane talks about the Ben, he pulls his skull out. He's talking about the guy they used to have. They kept his skull, bro. Like, that's not movies. As much as we know they're created and they're creatively done, they're all drawn from something. There was somebody who's done that before, kept the skull of somebody they used to own, and it's sitting there in their house probably, still to this day. That stuff, it doesn't make you want to hate somebody. I get it, but you have to look at it as if like it happened. My whole thing is this: we can't let them erase it. That's all I care about. Don't let them erase it. Don't let them tell us it didn't happen or it didn't happen that way, because the trauma's still gonna be there. But if we have no reason to know where it came from, you're going to walk around just hurt and all this stuff and be prone to do these bad things and have no idea where it's coming from.
Because why they, what's it called?
What?
You know what I'm talking about? Over happened over there. They will, they won't let them forget that. But over here, they try to, you know what I'm talking about? Over there.
Germany has paid those people a lot of reparations. I'm talking about billions of dollars.
We all know what happened over there. And they not trying to whitewash, not trying to get rid of none of that. But this, they trying to get rid of this. Why?
And this was also, like, the Holocaust is just a word for, like, a genocide. Like, this was a genocide here, too. There have genocides in Africa as well. Genocides in Asia. There have genocides of Native Americans here. All of that stuff. And unfortunately, the powers that be have made sure that only one big thing that happened is remembered more than anything else.
Which is insane.
It's really unfortunate because a lot of bad things happen to people all over the world. And that's why I think, that's why we need to recognize that there's a common enemy, and it's not a certain race of people, but it's certain people who have that power, and it's just people with more money than you. It's the billionaires and stuff. Like, it's always been people with wealth that can change the narrative through their power and their political influence and stuff like that. And that's the unfortunate part of it, because at least in America, they can tell you whatever they want you to hear. You know, like in Germany, they don't teach that stuff as if they weren't doing the wrong thing. They acknowledged how bad it was what they did, and they punish those who still perpetuate those ideas, those hateful ideas. But not in America. They rather just bury it. You can't bury it.
They can't. You can't. I want to move forward a little bit. Go back to the original. Trauma is genetically transferred. So, I mean, this is all about the same.
So break that down to me, like how it was proven, like what the studies or whatever else.
All right. So I watched I think it was a documentary I watched. It was a couple years ago, but it's shaky. But you can look this all up. It has been proven that trauma that your parents have, not even that, if I know I brought up earlier about being the pregnancy thing, but the trauma that your parents have or anywhere down in your lineage can be passed on to you. Because we're all, don't forget, we're all connected. We all share the same DNA, genes, and all that stuff. Because that stuff, the stuff that happens within your environment actually changes
your DNA.
It changes your actual DNA and genes. People don't know that. Wow. All the stuff that you put
I didn't know that.
The stuff that you put yourself through, like any type of stress or anything happy, anything bad, it changes your DNA, your actual structure. And so we know how
brain chemistry.
Yep, brain chemistry and all that stuff, which affects your DNA. We know how, when a man and woman comes together, they get split the DNA in half. So that half of the DNA from the man, whatever trauma or positive experience or trauma that man has, and the positive or the trauma that the woman has, will get passed down to that kid. Even though he never or she never physically actually experienced it, those feelings and those characteristics are still passed down into that person. So that's why, if we look into like the inner cities, I feel like that's the most apparent place. It's not even just, I'm just going to use the inner cities for Baltimore, but we can go anywhere where it's intense poverty, intense suffering, and any type of thing like that.
Yeah.
We can see that
cascading effect.
The cascading effect of depression, suffering, feeling of I guess my favorite word today is lack. Just not being able to have anything that'll propel them forward to get where they want. Just the feeling that they won't be able to accomplish those things that they had. These are all genetically passed down, and it's so apparent when you go into like the inner cities and stuff like that. But that is true. So like that's why they say when a woman should not be working when she's freaking pregnant. That child, whatever she's feeling in that environment, whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. But you could have other people's energy that, like, she has a boss that's just like evil or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That energy that she will feel, maybe not consciously, but subconsciously, will be passed on to her, and then her child will feel that. A woman should not be working.
I've seen.
That shit is real, and it's proven. I can't give the actual scientific study, but there's documentaries on it.
We'll find
there's
it.
on all that stuff.
We'll find it.
Like, it's actually true. And women should not be working. We got to be careful with what we're putting ourselves through because it's going to be passed to our kids. I know we can't control it, but we got to work on it as much as we can to help the next generation. And don't forget, they trying to push all this stuff on us, all these negative feelings and stuff that we have now. There's going to be passed on.
Even if you can't control it in the moment, when you do have a kid, you have to really be conscious of what you say and do around them because they're so sensitive emotionally to everything you do.
They absorb everything, bro.
They absorb your vibe, your demeanor. They absorb all that stuff.
And that's one of the biggest things I'm afraid of, bro, is passing on not trauma, but I just don't want them to, because I know they're a sponge and they're gonna pick up everything, and I know I'm not perfect, so I don't want there to be a day that I'm just having a bad day, and now they picking up on me having a bad day, and I was like, I don't want you to. And it's so I'm not overthinking it. It's just I just don't want. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't want that.
You developing a whole person, bro. You gotta take everything consideration.
Responsibility, bro.
Everything is
responsibility, bro. And it's sad when you brought up the Krishan Rock thing and that child's now the fetal alcohol syndrome, or whatever it's called.
I'm not a doctor, but I do know that if your child does not speak or have any sort of ability to walk or crawl or anything like that, and on the normal time frame that it happens, there's usually an underlying condition.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with. And nothing necessarily wrong with that, but there are things you can do while pregnant to prevent the odds of that stuff happening. And she didn't do that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I just want you guys to be careful with what you're consuming. I know, like I said, you don't have the control sometimes, but just be very conscious and careful as much as your ability of what you're putting yourself through and all that stuff. Because that stuff does get passed to you.
Absolutely.
And we do need to take the time to address these issues that you do have. Mm-hmm. You know, sit down and be like, hey, I'm feeling a certain way, I'm thinking a certain way, why am I feeling this certain way? So then I can address these issues so I can start to make a change. So these things won't be passed on to the next generation. So we can have them have a better life than what we had here on this earth.
And absolutely, man. And to pull it all together, I would say understand your history and understand how that history affected people that came before you. Look into yourself and see if you can find those strands of it. Because I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
If you're a lot of that stuff, let's say you're easily irritable or something like that, or you're easily, upset by certain things. It's probably from something that happened to someone who came before you, and it's just like a build up to get when it gets to you.
Yeah.
So acknowledge that stuff and build on it and try to improve for the next generation. That's all we can do.
Yeah, ask yourself the question why. If you're ever feeling down, sad, depressed, or whatever, even if you're happy, ask why am I feeling this way? And then you will give yourself an answer. Just that voice in your head, if you got that voice. Some people don't have that voice, that's crazy. But just talk to that person up there, or that person inside. Don't even be up here.
Don't do it out loud.
Why not?
Don't do it out loud. Okay. You have another problem. They're going to put you somewhere you don't want to do that.
Hey, man, but like I was saying, make sure you ask yourself those questions. Why do I feel this way? Why am I doing this? Why that? And then you'll get an answer. Then ask, why am I doing that? And you'll get down to the root cause of what you actually want and what you're actually feeling in life.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this can even tie back to the type of person you're looking forward to getting into a relationship with. You got to ask those questions. Why do I take your vision of this person and say, why do I want this? Really ask that question. You'll be like, why? I bet you a lot of people don't have the answer to that. It's just what I want. Why do you want that? Because that's not even someone gave it to you. You never thought about it. Mm-hmm. Like when you really think about it. But going back to the feeling thing, ask those questions why, because then you'll begin to understand yourself and understand why these emotions, because emotions, energy and motion, are starting to develop inside of your body. You know what I'm saying? So you can understand yourself, because you got to realize you aren't those emotions. You know what I'm saying? Those are just feelings. They come and go. They're emotions. Like
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, people need to start, just understanding themselves. You keep saying you want this and that and that and that, but you don't even know what you actually want. You don't know who you are. You don't know what your strengths and weaknesses are.
Self-discovery is really important, man.
Shit is real. Just understanding of self, knowing yourself. People don't know themselves, bro.
I don't think anybody fully does.
I mean,
until you're. Yeah, maybe
I disagree. What are you about to say?
I was gonna say most people don't know themselves for most of their life unless they actively try to.
But that's what I'm saying. No, you have to actively do it, because you can do it by the time you're 21, like this guy, know exactly what he want to do and stuff like that. But people don't take the time to actually know themselves, talk to themselves, get to know that person. Because there's two people inside you, bro. There's one that's actually you. Then there's the person I keep telling you that they put onto you. Those ideals that were put onto you, bro. Just you got to be able to separate the two and know which one's actually you. Because the other one is you're limiting the beliefs that someone else put onto you, and it's not you.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, I'm done preaching for the day, man. Tip of the week. If no one's coming to save you, build anyway. Heal anyway. Lead anyway. Your healing, your growth, your power. It all starts when you realize the cavalry isn't coming, but you were always enough. You got anything else to say before we wrap it up, man?
No, not at all, man. Some really great points you had. You taught me some things.
You taught me some stuff too, man.
I have nothing else to add, man. Just like I said earlier, man, learn your history.
Yeah.
Do your research.
So he's telling you, learn your history, and I'm saying learn yourself, bro. I feel like that's just as important, to learn yourself, who you actually are, not what someone else put onto you.
Yeah, learn your history. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, whether you're black, white, whatever. Learn your history. Learn history as it is, not as it's been told to you. Learn it as it is. Learn it from the people that were there. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask any questions, even if it sounds crazy. Or what was it? What was it like being black in 1980? You might want to know that.
Yeah.
Ask the questions. What was it like being white in 1980? Ask the questions. You might want to know that. You know, and understand history as it is, not as it's been told to you. Understand your place in it. Don't feel bad for something your people did before you did, but understand why it was wrong and why you shouldn't repeat it.
Exactly. I think that was a great way to put it. Hey, man, I don't have nothing else, man. You good?
I'm good.
All right, man. You're in the What with Flex.
And Quell.
Catch y'all next episode. Peace.